Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog.stampwithelaine.com and welcome to week 6 of my Countdown to Christmas series. I thought we'd kick off November with making a family advent calendar using the Sweet Home bundle. These are all the little houses I made. I won't show you how I made each individual one, but just the basic one with the top hanging like this. Because we've got to make 24, I just made it in 3 different colours to match the Candy Cane Designer Series papers. Colours I picked up from the Designer Series paper was Chocolate Chip, Crumb Cake and the Real Red. The stamp sets I used are the Sweet Home bundle with the Home Sweet Home Thinlits dies. The other stamps I used for the lights is from Evergreen, and that comes from a kit to make Christmas trees. Then I used the wreath and the bow from Santa's Sleigh. Paper I used Crumb Cake, Real Red, Chocolate Chip, Candy Cane Designer Series stack, glimmer paper and gold foil. For the inks I used Memento Black, Crumb Cake and Real Red, Bermuda Bay, Garden Green I think that is, and Daffodil, no, Crushed Curry, Fairy Lights, and Whisper White Craft ink. 1/16 inch handheld circle punch, the Candy Cane Lane Baker's Twine in Real Red and white with metallic thread through it, linen thread, the Christmas trinkets, and I used the bell, or you could use the holly leaf or the gingerbread man. For the chocolate chip ones I used embossing folders on them all, and this one I used the softly falling textured embossing folder, the seaside one for this one, dots embossing folder, the Lucky Stars one and the elegant dot one. For the crumb cake I picked out some sheets of Designer Series paper from the Candy Cane set and just use the designer papers to do the roof and also the doors. If you would like to do a bit of stamping, then stamp it before you assemble the box. And this light one came from the Forever Green stamping kit, and to do the wreath that came from Santa's Sleigh, and these were the dies I used for the wreath and the bow. And for the Real Red ones I used the dies to cut out the roof tiles. You'll notice that from the Home Sweet Home Thinlit dies there are only 2 types of roof. There's this one which basically does this roof, and there's the scalloped one which does this roof. To get the tiles on this, make your sandwich as usual, so you need the magnetic platform, your base cutting plate and cardstock. And this is how I did it. So out of a half an A4 sheet I cut this roof first with a scallop, then place the die this way round and this one in the opposite direction facing the scallops there. Okay, pass it through the big shot and then you get this shape. So take a scissors and cut that through and then cut that in half, and that will give you this tile. Just a little tip, make sure that this is wide enough apart so that you get a deep tile like this. this is probably from tip to here is about an inch. So I would suggest that you space it about 1.5 inches apart. That looks more like 2 inches, doesn't it? Yeah, about 2 inches apart. Half of them I sponged in crumb cake, and then the other half I added glitter. So I sponged that in white craft ink and then put Tombow and spread the Tombow all over it and then added the glitter. This one hasn't got any glitter, it's just been sponged white. For the Christmas Eve one, I cut the numbers out in glimmer paper and added one of those special Christmas trinket embellishments. When you come to doing your roofs, you need 4 for each roof on each side, so that makes 8, and you need to cut 10 of these for if you're using this tile. Now, just a reminder, if you're a subscriber and you've been watching my previous videos, I covered the Home Sweet Home bundle dies in a lot more detail, so this is just a quick reminder if you're visiting me for the first time. There are 2 types of dies. One is to cut the aperture like this, and this has only got the single die cut line. But if you need the frame, then you need the one with the double cut line, and this is the larger of the 2 dies. You can see the difference in size here. Now, to cut the door, I cut it at the same time as I'm running this through the Big Shot. So all you need to do, if you're cutting the door, the aperture, there's a bit here where there isn't a cutting edge, so that this will hinge, so it doesn't cut through. So all you have to do is just pop the door die and push it down so that the base of this cutting edge lines up with the base of this cutting edge, and then you'll get a really clean cut. Particularly if you're cutting so many, it's just easier to cut one with the door and the window at the same time. And for the second piece here, I omitted the door but only included the window. Now we've got our 2 pieces cut, take the one with the door and using the 1/8 inch circle handheld punch, you find the centre and you want to punch on this line here. So it's just a little bit off centre because you're going to punch 2 holes. Okay, this is the front. You want to flip it over and only put double-sided tape on the tab where the window is, opposite the door. Then flip it back on the front and you put double-sided tape on these tabs here. On the second piece, this is the front. Omit the double-sided tape on this tab where the window is, and you only put double-sided tape on these tabs here. When I was die cutting all the frames, I put them in little dishes so that I wouldn't get all confused, and same with the roof tiles, doors and door frame. And then my extra bits I put in a separate dish as well. This is the window boxes, those are the little flowers. That came from the Tree Builder punch. This is the banner from the Sweet Home dies, and this is from Santa's sleigh. This is the stage. If you want to emboss it, this is the time you emboss it, before you assemble it. And that applies to the stamping as well. But I'm going to just merely show you the construction of this. I also assigned different colours for each of the hanging bits for the houses. So for the chocolate chip I used the real red solid colour. For the crumb cake I used the white with a metallic thread, and for the real red I just used plain linen thread. I did mine through a tapestry needle because it just makes, when you're making so many, it just makes life a lot easier. Okay, and I worked on the spool, so there's no exact science, and you want to leave a length long enough so that it's easy for you to tie. If it's not long enough, then you end up spending ages perfecting that knot. It's only a knot after all, so it doesn't need to be perfect. And then you can just gauge how long you want it, and then pull it tight and cut off the excess. Then to assemble it, make sure that that aligns with the score line on the bottom and the top. Like so. Pull this down so that the knot doesn't interfere with that. You can adjust it afterwards, but do the flap without the hanging device first. So you want to do this side with just the window and not the door. Fold back any excess sticky strip or double-sided tape if you like. Then you can pull your hanging thing up. So from the door, you want the door to fold back, so you do the back flap first. Open the door to give yourself a finger hold. Tombow glue on the edge here. And you can titivate. The easy way to do it is just run your finger round the edge so that you know it's flush. And if you use a silicone mat underneath, it will protect your work surface. And to do the roof, I've just merely cut these into 2 and I think this is 2 1/4 inch strips, and I just glue it straight to the roof line with Tombow glue, like so. Then use the scissors to cut off the excess. Then I normally straighten that line again. Do the same for the opposite side. Because I'm doing this for the video, I'm doing it straight away, but it's as well to let it bond for a little bit, otherwise it will slip and make your roof crooked. Just scraps of Whisper White, some holly leaves from the Forever Green stamp set. Where's it gone? Here. I punched out these flowers from the Tree Builder punch with this little punch here, and if you cut the little strips then you won't have any wastage. So let's colour those in. So these are the window boxes, so I'm just going to pop a bit of glue on the front and attach that. Glue on the back, attach it to the window box. attach the numbers. Now, at the time when I was making this project, I couldn't find any numbers that were small enough. These are current ones, and as you can see, they're much too big. I actually used a retired set which I hung on to, and this is called the Little Numbers Thinlits dies. So this is what I used for my advent calendar. And at the time when I was making this project, I had to use what I had in hand. But here's a suggestion. On page 166 of the annual catalogue, there is a Project Life kit, and it's called Project Life Date It. And you can actually use the numbers here and punch it out with a little circle punch and layer it on glimmer paper or something. There is an alternative if you haven't got these little numbered dies. I hope you've enjoyed the tips and tricks on how to make your own advent calendar. One of the things that you can do, when you finish, you can actually put 2 or 3 chocolates in. So this is more of a family advent calendar, and I think it's such a lovely ritual to have, say, in the evening when everybody's had their dinner. Children or the adults in the family can take it in turns to open the door of one of these to access their sweets. I tried it with the Quality Street sweets and they were a bit too fat, but the Celebration sweets are fine, and I think at a squeeze you can fit four in. So I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial and the tips and tricks on how to make your own. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe or share on Facebook. You'll find the list of supplies I use below this video, all except for the number dies, and they'll also be listed on my blog.stampwithelaine.com. You can find me on Pinterest, Facebook or Instagram. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye!